What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And I host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dads Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. Hey, we just lost Ryan, and so he'll be back in just a moment. And through that collaboration with Dads Central and Dove Men Care last year, I was able to reach out to over 100,000 fathers around the world last year. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Let's bring Ryan back because he wanted to run away for some reason. But you're back?
Oh, yes. You know, when the internet just feels like doing its own thing, but I'm back.
Never been there. I've never had, like, Big Brother has never taken control of me, right?
Exactly. Oh, that's got to let people know we are live. All right.
Yeah, and just to tell people here, technical, for some reason I'm not broadcasting on my Dr. Vibe Show Facebook page today, but everything else, it's a little, I don't know, we can't change that. We're just going ahead with the broadcast. Tell them who you are, Media Star.
Media Star in training.
Stop.
Thanks to my mentor here. But for those that don't know me, my name is Ryan Knight, rocking Black Intelligence. Shout out to Sandra Hamilton from SDH Toronto. But I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage to, one, figure out what stage they're in, and then help them create a blueprint to grow their companies exponentially. I'm also an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. We do mobile waterless car cleaning and go to people's houses or offices, clean their car on the spot without using water. But what I'm most proud of is our youth entrepreneurship program, where we work with high school and college students to teach them entrepreneurship using our company as a model. So they run mini versions of Detailing Nights wherever they live and get the real flavor.
I like that. Mini versions of Detailing Nights.
Right, yeah.
The mini nights.
The mini nights. Ooh, that should be our graduation.
Not the Mennonites, the mini nights.
As we've seen, pronunciation is so key.
Yes.
Amarian will tell you that.
Absolutely.
He's not happy about the new name for the COVID because Omicron, people are calling it the Amarian virus.
I have no idea.
Yo, he had to do a full Instagram post about it. It's like, get the name right. Get the name right.
I have no idea what's going on with that. I'll leave that to you, sir. What's going on? What's been going on this week?
This week has been productive. Yeah, you know, we're in the full swing of planning for the Legacy Symposium. So that's happening next month. Being able to plan for the June Ecosystem Conference is pretty exciting. So being able to meet with a lot of the leaders of the other organizations on a regular basis has been, it's been fulfilling. Getting to talk with, on a consistent basis, you know, others that are part of the same ecosystem. How about you?
It's been cold.
And that's why it's sweater season. Listen,
I love my hoodies anyways, but it's been cold. I'm telling you.
Man,
you know,
you don't have to be outside. Just relax.
Actually, I have to make a venture out into the deep cold after this for an hour. So I've got to, I got my pink hat ready.
Yes.
It's ready to rock
Nice.
and all that.
That's good.
So as always, people are already in here. As always, we do giveaways. So right off the top of the bat, if you want to enter the draw to win a $25 gift card from Amazon, whatever platform you're watching this on, type in hashtag the morning vibe in the comment section, press enter. We'll enter you into the draw. And also frequency event promotions 2022 calendar. There we go. 2022 calendar that features Black Canadian businesses. So we're giving away both of those. And just an FYI, we're doing that every Monday and Friday till the end of next month.
Love it.
So even if, we don't mind repeat winners as long as you gift it to somebody.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Some people may want to keep the Amazon gift card. I don't know. That's a whole other conversation, but that's what we do here. So just to right up the front, we're doing that. We have another new friend. Well, you know all the people. I just get to meet them after. Who's our new friend for the day?
I'm getting to learn too. So Kassandra, that's why I'm so excited about being part of this ecosystem, because there's so many organizations that you may not have crossed paths with before, but now we're able to learn so much more about them. And today our guest Kassandra is from DESTA Black Youth Network that's based out of Montreal. And even though I have connections in Montreal, I love the mission of DESTA because it's similar to what we do with Detailing Nights, working with youth under 35, under 30 to 35, and really giving them the core skills they need to be successful in life. That ranges from entrepreneurship to just career skill building. So I'm excited to learn more about the great work that Kassandra's been doing with her team at DESTA.
Good morning, Kassandra. Good morning. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me, guys. This is really exciting for me to be able to share with you. So thank you for that. I'm doing well. There's a bit of sunshine in Montreal, but it's cold, January.
Yes. Well, one of the things about Montreal that I'm always challenged with is, well, we do have snow here in Toronto, but there'll be times where there's no snow in Toronto in the winter. Once I get to Montreal, there's always snow in Montreal in the winter.
Right.
There's always snow in the winter. It's just like it's par for the course. But we are very happy to have you this morning and looking forward to a great conversation. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I can start. Where do I start? I feel like I've lived a few different lives. I started my career in corporate marketing. So, I came to Montreal for school, for university. I went to McGill for my bachelor's, and then I did my master's at HEC. And when I completed my master's, I went into the field of corporate marketing. I really enjoyed it at first. I felt a connection. It was stimulating for me. It was motivating. I spent about 8 years in that field, and something in me just didn't connect anymore. I needed to do more. I needed to find something meaningful. And so I ended up taking some drastic steps. I ended up selling the condo that I had.
Wow.
And I decided, you know what, let me travel. Let me figure out what I really want to do. Let me not pressure myself into jumping into something else. So I ended up, I left Montreal for a while. I spent some time in Trinidad, in the mountains of Trinidad, surrounded by nature.
Cool.
And I came back and I became an entrepreneur. And in many ways, I wasn't prepared to become an entrepreneur, but I found something that I was passionate enough about to put all of my energy and resources into. And so I went from corporate marketing to becoming an entrepreneur with all the challenges that came with. I was able to build 3 relatively successful businesses, 2 of which are still in existence today. And that actually brought me to where I am now. I've been with DESTA for 2.5 years. So I'm the executive director currently. And, through my work as an entrepreneur, I had the opportunity to work with some DESTA participants. And I was just wowed. I was just amazed by the quality of young people that were really coming out of DESTA. And so originally I wanted to mentor, I wanted to coach. So I had gotten in touch with one of the board members to just become a business mentor. I was in the field and I had an interest. I really wanted to work with some young people and help them out. And that never panned out because of a transition in leadership. But, here I am today. I find myself leading the organization, and it's been a very interesting ride, challenging in many ways, but so rewarding just to be able to see, a lot of the struggles that I went through, and I'm still going through in many ways, seeing those, that path become easier for the generation that's coming is so rewarding to me. The small ways, the big ways, it's just, I'm where I need to be right now.
And for those that don't know, how would you describe DESTA to a new person? I guess the elevator pitch or, a bit of the history of the organization.
Yeah, so DESTA, we've been around for just over 15 years.
Okay.
And the mission has always been more or less the same. We work to help Black youth, Black English-speaking youth in Montreal. So this is a French province. We work to help the youth overcome barriers. So barriers with regards to systemic racism, which we know is very real, language barriers, and becoming really a hub, a resource, a central resource for the community to come to for anything. We need to reinforce the networks, especially within the English-speaking Black community in Montreal, because we're so small. And so, DESTA's mission is really to become that central resource where people that are moving into the city, they know, okay, where's a place that I can go to get resources, to, be directed in the right way. We want them to think of DESTA. So,
question. I have a question. Why specifically English speaking? Because there is a large French speaking Black population in province du Quebec.
Absolutely. And, the Black French speaking population does definitely still have its struggles. But if you look at the statistics, the Haitian population, the French speaking African populations, they are not struggling as much as the English-speaking populations. And this is a province, if we're being completely real about things, this is a province that is hostile to English-speaking. Right? And then if you add on top of that the fact that you're Black, the fact that you're, there's been generations of inequality. There's so much to overcome. So, DESTA was built really to address the issues of that specific population, just because that's the community that's struggling the most.
Okay. Why I wanted to make sure that you gave the define on why specifically the English Black community.
Yeah, and even if I wanted to give like an overview of some of the programs that you've been doing in the past for youth, as I was looking through the website, I was like, there's so many different areas that now, like you said, DESTA is that first stop. I was like, hey, if you're thinking of where to get support, this can be a great first step. So what would a youth expect when they reach out to DESTA?
Yeah, definitely. So we work in, I would categorize it into 4 different spheres, right? So we have employability and entrepreneurship. We have re-entry and social justice. So I'll explain that a little bit. We work specifically with people coming out of the incarceration system. So again, another level of barriers. So you're Black, you're English speaking, and now you have a criminal record. So you can imagine how difficult it is for this population to achieve basic things in society. So we help with legal supports, housing, employment, all of those things. And that program has grown exponentially in the past year and a half. We've gone from, I think we were at about 12 participants to we're close to 45 participants.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, there's a huge, huge demand and need for this. We currently have a fund called the Black Legal Action Fund, where we are collecting mostly money, but resources in general to be able to give specifically to legal support for our community. So in addition to that, we also launched a food security program coming out of COVID. And the interesting thing about this food security program is that we tied it into our entrepreneurship mission. So, you know, we identified that within the community of Little Burgundy, and then, you know, kind of stretching out into the greater community of Montreal, there weren't enough resources, especially after COVID. So we looked at how we could encourage our own businesses, so our own community businesses, Black-owned food businesses, while serving the community. So we ended up getting funding of about close to $80,000 when we first, right before we launched the program. And so what we did is we said, okay, we're going to purchase the food directly from Black-owned businesses and serve the community, serve them hot meals. First of all, the quality of the food was so much better than what we were getting at the food banks. You know, culturally, they could relate to the food more. They were getting, you know, some good Jamaican food, and, you know, there was that cultural aspect that was being addressed. And we're encouraging Black-owned restaurants who were struggling at the time, like you know, all restaurants, right? And that evolved also into a Black food business incubator. So now we're currently working with Black people within the food industry to help them level up their business. So it's turned into this nice full circle program where we're able to serve the community, and we're able to also uplift, you know, the pillars of the community, those entrepreneurs. So we have that. We also are working on building a wellness program, and I should say rebuilding, because at some point, you know, this was one of the pillars of DESTA. So we're bringing this back as a focus, as this has come very loud and clear as a need from the community. General wellness, mental health, but just being able to address those issues of self-care within the community that, you know, typically the community is not putting as a priority, right? Or
so true.
Yeah. So it's a lot, but you know, we have a great team, a dedicated team, and we love the work that we do. So it's just motivated.
I want to take it back historically a little bit. When did you decide, and if you remember the moment, that this was going to be your journey?
That's a very good question, because if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would be in this position, I would be like, no. Because where I was at that time, I didn't have the time or the space to even see myself, you know, directing a nonprofit organization. And it was never in my career path. I didn't, you know, go to school for this. I wasn't like a 20-year-old saying, okay, I want to lead a nonprofit. That wasn't in my path at all. I came upon it. Like I said, I was very impressed with DESTA. I had my interactions with the organization, and, you know, I was working with one of the board members on another project, a wellness related project. And he kind of planted the seed in my head. You know, DESTA's looking for an executive director. You know, I think he would be great for the position. And I was like, when do you see me having time to even do that? Like, you know, how is that going to be possible? But the seed was planted, and somehow that seed grew. You know, my life circumstances allowed me to eventually have the time to take on a project like this. And I decided to give it a chance. And, you know, I wouldn't say that I came in fully prepared for what I was faced with, but I have grown tremendously in 2 years. The organization has grown tremendously in 2 years. So there's something that is being done right. So, you know, for that, I'm definitely proud. It's amazing to see how the staff has grown, the commitment and the dedication of the staff, and really how the community has, I would say, rallied back around DESTA, because there was a time where the community kind of, you know, distanced itself.
Yep.
So we did have issues with leadership at some point, and it's nice to see the community coming back.
Gotcha. And I'm so curious. You took I guess a sabbatical to Trinidad, and one of my business partners is from Trinidad, so she'll love to hear this story. But I'm curious, what type of reflections, or I won't call them epiphanies, but what came to mind as you were taking that time for yourself, and what type of learning are you taking now to the projects that you work on now?
Amazing. Yeah, that's a really good question. When, you know, that was actually the first time in my life that I ever gave myself that space, because, you know, I come from a Haitian family, very strict, very like, you know, you can either be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever, you know, like there's a very limited view of
profession. Could you say profession?
You know, so there, you know, I come from that background, so I didn't have a lot of space growing up to actually ask myself, like, what is it that I'm passionate about? What do I feel connected to? You know, I finished high school, I went to university, I started working, I did what I was supposed to do, and I never took that step back to ask myself, what do I connect to? And so that was the first time I ever did that. So it was a lot of getting to know myself without, you know, in an environment where not many people knew me, so I could be whoever I wanted to be. So I explored, you know, different aspects of myself. I presented myself in different ways, and it was so freeing. It was such a freeing time for me, because I didn't have to fit into the box that, you know, in many ways I had created for myself, but also, you know, my family had created for me, my environment had created for me. So I was able to get out of that box. And in doing so, I discovered aspects of myself that I didn't know were there. And then I discovered what my strengths were. You know, I was always successful more or less in what I was doing, but there's a different type of success when you're doing something from your heart, something from something that you feel deeply connected to.
But I'm curious, what was one of the strengths that surprised you that you had that you didn't realize you were so good at?
Well, if you would have told me that I would be starting, for example, my own product line, I would have been like, no, I can't do that. I can work at a product line.
What what product line is this?
So I have a product line called Urban Beauty. So HERBN Beauty. And it's basically an all natural skincare line using urban fusions.
Take care of my shiny head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I would have never thought that I could do something like that.
Gotcha.
You know, I have been marketing cosmetics in my professional career, but to say that I would create my own line and be able to build it and market it, I didn't think I could do that. So
let me ask in regards to the organization, two-part question, but the same foundation. Before the pandemic hit, what were the top 3 areas of need your clients were looking assistance in? And has that changed since the pandemic?
Well, I came into DESTA at a very interesting time because it was basically 5 months before the pandemic. So when I came in, and the organization was already going through a transition of its own. So we were already reassessing the programming, reassessing, you know, just connecting with the community to see what the needs were. So a lot of what came out, obviously employability is a big one. Having that ability to have access to resources and be able to find success in society was a very, very big one. I would say once COVID hit, it's just that all of that, the needs didn't change. They just became very magnified.
Gotcha.
And then in addition to that, having to deal with the anxiety, the uncertainties, the fears within the community, the lack of communication also.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, there was.
I think that's a very important point to bring up in regards to the lack of communication.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the pandemic in general, it feels like all of society is just trying to figure things out as we go, because there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of things that keep changing. But then when you add to that a community that has been historically mistrustful of the health system, mistrustful of the government, the system in general, it becomes even more difficult to.
Can I go deeper than that though?
Sure.
What about mistrusting of each other?
Mistrusting of each other. That's a big one. That's a big one. And that's something that, when I look at Montreal and really the size of the English-speaking Black community, we can't afford to be mistrusting of each other because we're so small. If we don't help each other out, it's going to be very, very difficult. But these things always, these situations always magnify the problems and the issues within the community and among the community. So, yeah, that's a big one. Definitely mistrust. And, there's no clear answer or clear solution to that. But I do think people have come together. People have come together more just because we've had to. Like, this is such an unprecedented situation that we find ourselves in. It's scary for a lot of people. So I think we've had to come together really more as a community. So people are seeking that.
So we have some people watching live, as always, and that's comments. Liquid Green Products, please give me the name of her product line again. So we already got people asking for your product line.
Nice.
What's the name of it again?
Can I type it in the...
Well, type it in the private chat.
Private chat, okay.
And I'll bring it up on screen.
So I'm putting the website here.
Yeah, if you can put the website, we can do that.
So it's called Urban Beauty.
Okay, so what we're going to do is let me just get to some other comments that are happening here. Sure. Kassandra, we have so many hidden talents that we don't even realize we do, but it's awesome that you are able to believe in yourself and go for it.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, as you're looking that up, because you're talking about the communication piece and these times of like uncertainty. And a lot of us are now dealing with people that are trying to deal with the situations, and everybody is taking their own path. So I had friends that are like dealing with the vaccine differently. And you think you knew people, but then now they've almost become somebody new. And then again, now Dr. Vibe was talking about not communicating with each other and not trusting each other, but now we can get each other sick. So there's that, you're looking at people as almost walking germs, and it's like everybody is protecting themselves, and it's all because like I want to protect my family and myself. So what's been your approach to really keep those communication lines open, show that we can trust each other? And like you said, because the population of English-speaking Black people in Montreal is so small, it's it's detrimental to keep this like communication between us alive. So I'm curious what your perspective or your approach to that has been.
Well, we are actually looking to bring back more community-oriented events. So even though we thought by January, okay, we're going to be able to use our building again, because we have this nice empty space right now that's not being used.
Yes.
But we figured we're still gonna push forward virtually. Virtually is better than nothing at this point. But bringing back the community together around various topics that, nothing that's too intimidating. Just, let's talk, let's connect as a community. Let's see where we can offer each other support. And this is something that historically DESTA has done very well. There was a time where we had these, I think it was monthly. We would have monthly talks called brother to brother, sister to sister, and then brother to sister, right? Where we would bring the men together, the women together, and then the men and the women at the same time. And there was a time where there were like 50 people in the basement of DESTA.
Nice.
Youth in the basement of DESTA, connecting and talking and building with each other. And that's what DESTA is about. That's what the vision of DESTA is, right? Is we need to be able to create those strong links within our community. We're fortunate as an organization right now to have the resources, financial resources, as well as other resources to be able to build things within the community. But without the community's participation, we really need that participation, that interaction within the community. And there's so much genius. Your sweatshirt, Black Intelligence, that's like, that's our community.
Yes.
Every time I meet a youth from our community, sometimes it takes like pulling out that genius, but they're all little geniuses. I love it because they inspire me. They inspire, all of us. So
just updating on some more comments. So Macmillan Real Estate Group says language bias is a real challenge against English speakers in the province of Quebec. Great job reaching the youth who may feel so disconnected. Kudos. What else we have? More jobs. Great conversation going on here. And I will put up the website address of her beauty line for those. There we go. Her Be in Beauty. So someone was asking, that is the line if you want to check out and it's funny because before we went live, Kassandra and I were chatting, it's just, do I sleep? Now the question everyone should be asking, does she sleep?
Right. I do. If I don't, then I don't work. My body doesn't function. So.
Excellent. Excellent. Let me ask, here's a good question. What's a typical day for you?
Wow, that is a good question. I find myself in virtual meetings a lot more than I would like to be honest. I think being the director of a nonprofit, there's so many elements, there's so many stakeholders that I have to take care of and address. Right. So I have my community, the community we're serving. I have my staff, I have my board, and then I have, the individual donors, the foundations, the government grants that we, have benefited from. So it takes a lot of, keeping those lines of communication open. So that takes up a lot of my time. Basically, it's different. I think during different periods, like right now we're in January, this has been very much a catch-up month for me, and just preparing for the year ahead. I find always, this month goes by so fast because we always think, okay, coming up after the holidays, it's kind of going to be a quiet period, but
right.
The calendar fills up so fast and you're like, oh, okay, no. But yeah, typical day, it's a lot of meetings, a lot of me working with my staff, to make sure things are moving forward. Yeah, and each day is a little bit different, but
cool. So
sorry, you got some comments?
Yeah, Charmaine saying connecting with persons in the community to build trust, engagement, support is a great approach. More Jobs asks, what's the most challenging about your line of grassroots work?
That's an excellent question. I think there are so many challenges. I don't know if I could pinpoint one, but I would say currently where DESTA is at. So when I came on 2.5 years ago, we were a team of 5. We're currently a team of 11 going on 12.
Whoa.
So that has been a huge challenge. Just managing the growth of the organization.
Wow.
Has been huge. Funding, of course, is always a challenge for a nonprofit, but we have been fortunate in that regard, in that we've been able to attract a lot of funding in the past couple of years. But the challenge then becomes sustaining that funding and sustaining, because the funding is based around programs. So, you have to work from that perspective, which is not always easy because you have your core expenses that you're kind of splitting among different funding avenues, and it never seems 100% solid and clear.
Right.
So that's always precarious. That can change very quickly in any nonprofit organization. So we're constantly working to make sure that our funding is diversified, that our funding is secured, and for as long term as possible.
So true.
Yeah, but those are the main challenges. And I think just with everything right now that's happening in the community, there's a lot of different like the issues that we're tackling now take on a different lens, right? There's just more of when you talk about employability, it's different now, because the employability landscape is different. So we're not even working to gear people towards 9-to-5s anymore. That whole landscape is changing. People need to be more, freelance oriented, ready to work remotely. Like it's a completely different world. So having to constantly adapt to that is challenging, but at the same time, it's exciting, right? Because
go ahead, Ryan, because we got questions coming in like crazy with Kassandra. So go ahead, because if you don't go now, Ryan, you're not going to get your word in. So go ahead.
Well, you had mentioned like being able to manage relationships, one with the community and then with stakeholders. And now with our organizations being part of this ecosystem and the fund that we got from the federal government, I'm curious, what do you want to see come out of this ecosystem that we keep hearing about? Like, how could it be best leveraged?
I think, when I think of the word ecosystem, I think, okay, we're building something together where each element feeds each other, right? That's what an ecosystem is. I think that is absolutely what the Black community needs.
Yes.
I don't think it's still not, it's still difficult to do. There's a lot to overcome. Like, to be honest, there's a lot to overcome within our community, but also our relationships, I think, with the system. So I think, yes, the government has committed to supporting, these grassroots organizations that are supporting the Black community, but I think there are areas where we still struggle. There are areas that need to be, we need to focus and address some of the issues that are happening just among community members. And I think, what you're doing, Ryan, is really amazing, because within the ecosystem, I think you're going that extra step to really bring people together to talk and exchange. And I think that's definitely a good first step. I think that's one of the things that it's definitely not enough to just put money somewhere. I think we need to find ways to really build with each other and to encourage each other as Black organizations. It's going to be so important.
Absolutely.
Questions from the audience. And I think the first one's a quick one, maybe more jobs. You came in late. How long has the organization been running from, if you can answer quickly?
Yeah, so 2006. We've been around since 2006. 15
Fantastic.
years.
Question: does this commitment affect family time and creating that life balance, Oh, looking forward to the answer to this one.
That's a really good question. So I actually recently got married about a year ago. Actually, it's going to be my 1 year anniversary.
Whoa, congrats. That's awesome.
But yeah, absolutely. It's tough managing all of this because in a way, you know, you have to put so much, the work doesn't stop. This is the type of work where you don't really shut off. You don't create those clear separations. And I find that difficult, you know, as a woman, as someone who's very heart-centered and connected to my work, it's very difficult for me to disconnect. And I know that I need
it's not hard work, it's heart work.
It's hard work, yeah. But I know that I need to take those times where I just kind of like remove myself, because there are times where it does become like, I feel like, you know, it's kind of invading other areas of my life. So I have to be careful with that. And that's something that, you know, as I have to create that balance. And I still haven't really found the ways to do that. But yeah, I think it's very important. Anyone in this work, there's a tendency to get too involved.
Right. Well, we were chatting with Camille Dundas at one of the previous symposiums where Dr. Vibe was able to be a panelist as well. And she talked about there's no balance. It's all blended, and almost embracing that, yes, work and community work and home life.
Yeah.
If we try to just section them off,
yeah,
and really that's not our like culture. That's not how we deal with problems or deal with just living. Everything is connected. So,
well, you know, I will give a suggestion. Don't manage your time, manage your energy.
Very true.
That's a very good suggestion. Yeah. That's absolutely true.
So
there needs to be outlets for stress, you know, those stressful moments.
Got another question here from More Jobs. If a donor were to give you $5 million spread out in 3 years, what 3 things would you do first, second, and third year? Really interesting question.
5 million, really? Okay,
well, she'll answer it if you deliver the 5 million.
Right.
So, is the $5 million in the balance here on how she answers?
Well, I mean, wow, that's an excellent question. I think you know, this would allow us to create stability, definitely. So, you know, looking at where to invest a lot of those funds, because one of the things that I'm looking at as part of our funding model is really starting to lessen our reliance on the government grants, the foundations, and really seeing how can we be self-sustainable, right? So we do have a couple of projects that are happening right now. One is a digital marketing agency that we built in-house at DESTA.
Solid.
And so this is actually a profit-generating model. And what we do is that for Black business owners, when they come to us and they say, okay, we want, you know, a logo for this, we want a website for this, we will subsidize their projects, sometimes 100%. So to the point where they get the service for free. And then we have other contracts that are paid, right? So we have this subsidization model for our community. But I would say we would invest in more projects like that. Like, how can we build more social enterprises that can sustain themselves, are profit generating, and that we can use to now give back to our community and support and help uplift our community. With 5 million, we could do that big. So I'm hoping that somehow that comes
Absolutely, I love that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And more jobs. You're making us look bad. We're only giving away $25. Coming with big checks.
Secure the bag. Secure the bag.
Yes.
That's good. Well, anything else, Ryan, you want to share with our friend today before we let her go and maybe get some rest? You know, I don't know. I don't think that exists.
And really, it's just making you know that the community is inspired by what you do. We're proud of you. We're proud of the work that DESTA does. And as we're kind of wrapping up, what would be that future vision for DESTA? Like, where do you see it going in the short term and definitely in the long term? And how can we support and help you get there?
Yeah, I think, I would really like to see DESTA be that resource within Montreal primarily, but then, across Canada, to be able to be, that reference center. Okay, Montreal, I'm located in Toronto. Oh, you're heading to Montreal? Okay, go check out DESTA.
Right. Yes.
We really want to be that reference point for the Black community. Know that whatever it is that you're dealing with as an obstacle, we're here to help you, turn barriers into opportunities, right? That's
excellent.
Really our vision.
So I'll just add on to that. I think I'll add on to what you were saying. I think that what you want to think about is when people think of an organization to help Black English youth in Montreal, they think of your organization first.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking. Some more comments here. You've become a superstar. We're going to have you back.
I would love to come back.
No problem. Great job. I got McMillan, a not-for-profit trying to self-sustain financially. Now that is how you build and grow. Remove the dependencies.
Yes, absolutely.
More jobs, continuing to engage community, and interconnectability.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Well,
amazing.
Before we let you go, we're going to put all the contact information that's on the screen, website, Facebook page, the gram, and not drugs, the gram, Instagram, okay? Not the gram.
Jeez.
Well, thank you to both of you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Dr. Vibe. This has been really fun. We'll definitely keep the conversations open because I know we can build together. We can continue to build together. So.
Well, when we work together, we win together. Right?
Yes,
so
definitely.
Thank you for taking the time, and continued success and blessings to you, your organization, the individual that you serve, your family. And also remember to give yourselves grace. And you married up. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
All right.
Be well and keep the faith. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right. Good stuff.
Lovely, lovely.
That was a fantastic conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. It was well done. Well, folks, it's giveaway time. And sorry for I know for some reason we're not broadcasting on my Facebook page today. I'm going to try and rectify that. And also Ryan's YouTube page, we're not broadcasting. But everywhere else, we're broadcasting. We still have typical numbers. So thank you.
Cool.
So, folks, as always, it's giveaway time. So you have a minute to put your name in. So whatever platform you are watching this on live, if you want to qualify to win a calendar or a $25 Amazon gift card, you've got 1 minute, and then we're going to do the draw. Ryan, what is on top for you this weekend?
This weekend, our youth entrepreneurship cohort continues. Shout out to the participants. And they are also getting ready to pitch at the symposium. So I don't even think they know that exactly, but we're getting them ready. Surprise, everybody's listening. But right? But so we're excited about that. Sunday we're actually gonna be at the Young Stars pop-up. So my daughter Jasmine, grab her book. I'm supposed to have her book near me at all times. At all times.
I'm glad she's not around you, because she'd get, Daddy, you don't have my book.
Unacceptable.
Just not allowed. Just not allowed.
So we're gonna be there promoting her book with a room full of other young, spectacular entrepreneurs. Some of them I've been able to meet at the other pop-ups that Jamal's been able to do. He's part of Empro Graphics. So going to be out supporting more young entrepreneurs on Sunday. What about yourself, sir? How's the weekend looking?
Well, tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm hosting a panel discussion about safe schools. How can we achieve safe schools? So it's a international panel. There's some panelists from Canada, one of them being Oliver Levy, who has the Mindful Parenting.
Yes, we had him on just a few weeks ago.
Yes, so he's part of the panel. Christy White, who's a leader in the Indigenous community, and we have some gentlemen from America on that panel. Then tomorrow night at 9 p.m. we have State of Things with Aisha and Jill, catching up on things that are going on in America. And then on Friday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, you probably won't be there because you'll be doing your book stuff. We have our bi-weekly roundtable on Black Canada Talking, featuring Elle Jones, Sarah Youngo, and Cesar Nadima Musa. And they'll be catching up on things from a Black Canadian lens, things that they feel are important that Black Canadians should know about. So that carries. And then also tell people Monday's Morning Vibe. It's the last day of January, but since we're not only on Monday and Fridays we're going to have Robert Small to kick off Black History Month. Yes,
definitely looking forward to always the conversation with him. And what's planned for Black History Month.
Robert Small, the person who says I have half hour and it's on for an hour. So but we like that. So that's what's coming up, and we've got some announcements should be coming up in the next few weeks, some good things for the Morning Vibe. Let me just see if anyone else has put their name into the draw hat. Okay, 30 more seconds. We're going to make it happen, folks. So that's what's coming up over the next few days. And we have a number of guests booked already for February for the Morning Vibe. And it looks like we're almost going to be booked out into March too. So a lot of things going on. I have to thank Ryan for getting a lot of people spreading the word. So we have a lot of guests. So you hear less of us and more of them because you're tired of us.
And something good to let people know, we are booking a lot of people, a lot of organizational leaders from the ecosystem. So those that saw the announcement and haven't been able to really dig deep into each of the organizations, we're bringing, and like Kassandra was one of them. So to be able to have them on and give them a spotlight and really learn more about what they're doing and how we can support their initiatives, because great things are happening across Canada. So we definitely want to spotlight that. And hey, this is the platform that you're going to be able to see it happen.
All right. Giveaway time. We gotta give away. That was Bobby Brown's song. Gotta get away. We gotta.
Yes, to Trinidad.
Yes,
for our sabbatical.
Yeah. Well, and also yes, giveaway tool time. Here we go. Let's put it up on the screen. All right. Let's run it. So here we go. Bam.
All right.
All right. Shanna K. Hall. And I think she's brand new. So we're going to do this time. We're going to that's for the gift card. So Shanna K. Hall gift card. So what you need to do, Ms. Hall, is going to show an email address that you need to use. This is your email address you need to use, info@ACBN Canada, and put in the subject section, gift card winner, and Ryan and his team will get that gift card out to you digitally, I believe.
Congratulations.
So and that's the first time we've seen you here. So that's fantastic.
Sweet.
All right. So let's now go for the calendar. All right. We like new winners. So let's draw again. Forgot to put the music on this time. Got to do got the music going for the next time. And Charmaine Sussy, another calendar. She's going to gift them away. Beautiful. So Charmaine,
lovely.
You're on a calendar run.
Right.
You're on a calendar run, but you can gift them away. All right. So that is for today. We've done it. Forgot to play the music. I feel bad. I should,
It's all good.
I want to play the music for a second, just for a second.
Yes, the outro music.
We got to do that.
Yes.
So let's
take us through.
Okay, we're gonna have some out. There we go. There we go.
Sounds like music. Today's episode has been brought to you by Sprite and Coca-Cola and
ACBN.
And disclaimer, is it wrong saying their names? Like, actually, they're not sponsors, but they should be. So
I'm not gonna go there.
Who would be a dream sponsor?
So
actually?
hold on a second. Actually, we're gonna
Tesla.
So Charmaine has asked us to give away the card. I mean, the calendar. So this gives us to do the music and the giveaway. So let's. Oh, you know what? Did I know? We got it. So we're gonna do it again.
All right.
So let's put it up.
Music's good.
All right. Let's put up the giveaway tool again. All right. So let's put the giveaway tool in action. Let's draw again. And this music goes well with the giveaway tool.
Yeah, I like it for that.
Tim Frey.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
The calendar.
Yes, Tim Frey. Absolutely. So, Tim, what you need to do is send an email. Okay, I think there we go. It's come up to info at Frequency Event Promotions, and the Frequency Event Promotions will get that calendar to you. Say winner January 28th, and it's a done deal.
Perfecto.
So
congrats to everyone. Congrats.
Yeah, we had a chance to play the music during the giveaway. Yay! All right.
I love it.
So, folks, that's it. That's all. Another epic conversation. Everyone, make sure that you stay. If you're watching this in the GTA, please stay warm. It's crazy. Oh, look at this. Shanaka says, I've been a bit of a lurker for a while, LOL, but today I got to catch you live. Woo! Thank you. So,
love it.
First time you catch us live, you won.
We appreciate you.
That is. And she also said when she won, she goes, OMG!
Yes.
I love it. So as always, folks, love you. Take care of yourself. Remember to give yourselves grace. Remember, as always, we close out with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace, and we will see you Monday a.m. with Robert Small. That is going to be an epic conversation. Ryan, take care. Be well. Keep the faith. All the best to the family. Take care, everybody. Peace.